Alrighty, so we got a very special delivery for this Lamborghini Huracan, and it's right behind my wife. Wow, where'd you grab this from?
Just had it the whole time.
The whole time, and you were keeping this away from us?
Yeah, it was a secret.
Dang, that's forged carbon fiber too. Take a look at this design. That is just insane.
It's so light too.
Yeah, put it on the back of that thing. Let's see what it looks like. Oh my goodness. This is just going to be game changer and just change the whole look of everything. Dang.
Let's put it on.
You want me to hold it so you can see what it looks like? Here, go ahead. I got it.
Yeah, it's like it was meant for it.
Man.
It's awesome.
Just completes the whole look of the car.
It just makes it more aggressive.
Dang, there we go. That's it right there. Everything's all installed. This thing ain't going anywhere. That's on there. And I mean, this is probably one of the cleanest spoiler installs that we've done, isn't it?
It is.
Everything just went smoothly. Everything just lined up just perfectly. The gaps, the holes. I mean, it was just a one-time drill. Measure 100 times, drill once. Perfection at its finest.
Method worked out perfectly.
If this would have got messed up, I think they're going for like $1,500 on eBay. So
just that little centerpiece?
Just that little centerpiece. But, you know, we would have just probably patched it up and filled it in. But still, you don't want to go through any of that. So we went ahead and get everything the right way. I mean, measure 100 times and go through it. Make sure you do it the right way. Forged carbon is the first time we've ever done forged carbon on any of our builds. But if you look at it, I really love the look of forged carbon. I think in all of our future builds, we might be doing forged carbon because it just makes boring carbon. That carbon looks nice, but when you do it on every single car, for us it becomes kind of like, okay, great, it's carbon, you know. But then when you see forged carbon, it's like, dang.
It's just so unique, and I think that's why you had two options.
I did.
When you showed me, I said, we've always done carbon, you know, and it's just like, this car is already wild as is, and that I was like, it's just gonna pair perfectly with it and just offset the look and make it that much more mean and aggressive, and I just couldn't be more happier, and I'm sure you feel the same way.
Oh yeah. Now we gotta fly down the road, and you have to actually drive it because you haven't driven it at all.
I do.
And we also have to make sure this stays on there, which I'm sure it will, because I mean, like I said, I was moving it around. It ain't going anywhere. So
No, that thing is bolted on tight.
4 bolts, washers, Loctite. I mean, we used the whole 9 yards. So
Yeah. Let's take it out on a
drive.
drive
You gonna drive it?
and see how it goes.
Yeah. You want to drive it?
I don't know.
If the spoiler falls off, you drove it.
Wow, that's the only reason why you're making me drive this right now.
It won't fall off. But you want to drive it?
I mean, I would like to, yeah.
All right. Let's go. Let's do it. How do you feel?
Feel good. Now let's hope the spoiler doesn't fly off.
What's that?
I said, let's hope the spoiler doesn't fly off.
Oh yeah. Well, if it does, like I said, it's on her fault.
I'll take the blame.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh no, the spoiler flew off.
Don't do that to me. Oh my goodness. I was looking at the speedometer. I was like, dang, we just reached 90.
So we've got 90 right now. Spoiler is still on the back of the car, which you can't see it from here, but we are good. I think that spoiler is fully secured.
That spoiler couldn't be more secure. It just, yeah, it's on. It's held on there. It's not going anywhere.
How does it feel like to drive the Huracan for the first time?
It feels awesome. Like your adrenaline. Oh, just that adrenaline pump that goes through your blood. But it's so fun. The vehicle is just so.
It sounds so good. Oh man. The camera does no justice on the sound of this thing. And it redlines at like 8,500, 9,000 RPMs for a V10. Oh man.
I honestly want to like track this thing.
Someone's gonna get a speeding ticket in this car.
I will take the speeding ticket. It's just
Man.
so fun. You can't drive this car.
And drive slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't drive like a grandma being a Lamborghini.
So you just gotta go and drive like you're on the track.
It's got a pedal to the metal.
That's right.
No, you obviously have to be aware of your surroundings. You know.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to be reckless where it's like stupid reckless, but you gotta have some fun.
Yeah. Well, we're in Mexico right now, so let it rip. Oh man. It feels different when you're sitting passenger in the seat. So.
Does it?
Yeah.
I don't even feel it. Like that's the thing. I mean,
Like the power when I'm driving, I'm like, okay, and then when you sit passenger, you're like, hey.
yeah, it is different because you've gone over 100 on this, and I was like holding on to the side of my door. But when you're driving it, like it doesn't feel like it. Like it was built and made for that.
The gauge cluster on this thing and the whole cockpit layout is just so amazing and awesome.
Yeah.
I really love how they designed this car completely. Alright. You're in Corsa mode. Well guys, we're back at the shop and you might wonder, why is the Lamborghini back on the lift? Well, I'll tell you why exactly. When we were going to do the suspension on this car, everything looked really good. Until further investigation, once we got this thing back from the alignment shop. Now, even though the car drives straight, doesn't pull or anything, we noticed our caster was off by like -1.5 degrees or so. And I want to make sure this thing is absolutely perfect. That alignment was in no way a final alignment. We just took it there and wanted to adjust the toe. That way, everything up front doesn't wear out. And doing alignment on a Lamborghini cost $500. It's gonna take about 4 hours. We're gonna have to drop this thing off at Lamborghini Charlotte. There's actual shims that go behind the control arm that adjust your camber. And I mean, it's very technical. That means you're gonna have to take the wheel off, put the shims on, put the wheel back on, roll it backwards, backward, forward, and get the alignment machine back within spec, and then measure for your alignment and see where you're at. And if you need more shims or less shims or thicker shims or thinner shims, well, you get the gist of it. So you gotta take the wheel off, put it back on, and big headache, even though it's not that hard to do, but just time consuming. And we want to make sure a car like this, especially a Lamborghini, gets done perfectly. And let me show you guys what I'm talking about. This control arm over here is the one that we actually replaced. The upper we replaced, the shock absorber. Now caster is what our issue is in our caster. This side was hit. If you notice right here, I could fit about 3 fingers in there. And on caster, that determines the shock, I guess how far back that wheel sits or whatnot. And that would make sense of this side being a little bit further back. Now when I go over to the other side, let me lift up the car a little bit. Now when I go over underneath the car, underneath it, let me make sure this thing's actually sitting on the stands so I don't get yelled at on the YouTube section. There we go. We have our safety lock stands on there so we can go underneath the car. And as we come on this side, notice how it's about 3.5. So we're about a 1/2 inch, maybe 1/4 to 1/2 inch roughly of this side sitting a little bit further back than the other side. Now it doesn't pull or anything like I said, and Lamborghini Charlotte, we don't even have to do an alignment because no one will even notice if they drive it, but I want to make sure everything is done in the greens, and we want to make sure everything is done with OEM plus specifications. So let's go ahead, tear apart the suspension one last time, replace that last piece, which is the lower control arm, and get this thing 100% dialed in. There you have it, out with the old. And if you look real closely, everything on this looks still very good. It doesn't seem like anything's bent or anything, but like I said, the alignment doesn't lie. And you know, even though that we think this thing looks good, the alignment tells the truth and speaks the truth. So we're gonna go ahead and still change it. The other one still isn't in yet, so as soon as that one comes in, we'll do a side-by-side comparison, but we got this one off already. These are the alignment shims I was telling you guys about. So you got a couple different kinds. These are all OEM. You can see the Audi logo and the part numbers. Each one of these have different measurements on them. So if I can get the camera to focus. Come on, camera, focus. There you go, we got the camera focus. So as you can see, each one of these shims has a number on it. This is a 1mm, so if you want to correct camber, it's fully adjustable, but every time you do it, you must go ahead and actually remove the bolts to the lower control arm, which 1, 2, 1, 2 on this side, and they actually mount right there. And then you got to put a shim in there and keep going. So as you can see, once this thing's on the alignment rack, you have everything calibrated, everything, all the sensors on the wheel, and then you got to take it all apart again, put it back in, and hopefully you're within specs. And if not, you're doing it back and forth maybe a couple times. So that's why it is a big pain to do an alignment on one of these the proper way. Now you can just adjust the toe and go, but we're not doing that here. We want everything to be within OEM specs. So even though it doesn't pull right, we have no error codes or anything for alignment, we still want everything to be done exactly the right way. There you have it. Our new control arm is on top, and as you can see, it was just ever so slightly out of position. Something that you can't really even tell from the look of it, but the alignment definitely picked it up. So everything else is good. Got one side just shifted out. As you guys can see, man, that's it. So we're gonna go ahead and put this new one in, put it back all together, and this thing is ready to go. Alrighty, there you have it. Take a look at this, final moment of truth. 3 fingers and a very small amount of gap. And up here, nice and flush up there. So we're good. Let's go on the other side. Here we go. Moment of truth. Ready? There we go. Got a little bit of a gap as well on this bottom one. On the top one, perfectly flush. Control arm was definitely just shifted just a little bit. And as you guys can see, I mean, I showed you guys how the control arm looked on top of each other. And now this wheel looks like it's dead center, but perfect caster. So we should be good for the alignment purposes. Now we're gonna go get this whole thing realigned, but man, this is all done. And it wasn't even that hard to go ahead and change. You got 2 bolts here, a couple bolts here, right height sensor, and then that's it. So no way I'm gonna be paying over, I don't know, $1,500 at the Lamborghini dealership to do this. The control arm alone was almost $1,200, but we got it done. All right, guys, so guess what? It's now another day, and we had the boat in here, and guess what? Look who else we got in here. What's up, Anthony?
What's up, guys?
So you guys remember Anthony over here? Anthony was the one that actually went ahead and tinted the boat windshield for us, and he actually also removed, what else did you do?
I removed the windshield off of that one.
Yep, the windshield tint, and then you did our X3M as well.
Oh yeah, I tinted the front 2 doors.
Yep.
With that one, yeah.
So everything's been really good, and he's here back again to tackle probably the hardest car you've done, maybe?
Not the hardest, but the most expensive car.
Is it the most expensive?
Super car. I mean, the most luxury car you could say. The most sports car you could say. Yeah.
Dang. So you're gonna be doing the back window, that little glass, the 2 in the corners, the side one. Looks like a little triangle one, and what, the whole windshield up front.
The whole car, basically.
Dang. How do you feel about that windshield? Because it is a pretty long windshield, you know.
I mean, I've done worse. I've done bigger windshields.
Really?
The only risk I'm worried about is, I mean, it's a supercar. So
Yeah. Especially, like, are you worried about the cracking on that windshield when I called you the other day about the dash absorbing too much water?
Oh,
or no?
yeah, that got me a little nervous. I ain't gonna lie, but I mean, I'm okay. I'll tackle anything.
Cool.
So I'll tackle anything.
Well, man, this is the man to trust right now, and we're going what, carbon film up front, 70%.
We're going ceramic on the windshield, and we're going to do carbon on the sides.
Perfect, cool. Oh, we haven't figured out what we're gonna do on the sides yet, but we're probably gonna want to match something like the GT over here that we have.
Oh yeah.
What do you think that GT's at?
Looks like around 20 maybe.
Okay.
Around there, I could check it. I got a little meter.
This car gets a lot more neck brakes, so like it's kind of, you know, I kind of want privacy when you're driving it.
Okay.
Everyone's staring at you. Cameras technically always on your face when you're driving it.
Yeah,
not that it's not a bad thing, but at the same time, sometimes you want your privacy, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So
And
cool.
it's a really big cop magnet too. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Big cop magnet.
That color pops, so you can
Oh,
see it
yeah.
going down the road.
Yeah, for sure. I remember when the first time you showed me, man. Oh my god, I was like, oh my god.
So you saw pictures of it, right?
Yeah, the ones you sent me.
Do you remember what side was damaged?
Oh, wasn't it this side?
Yeah.
It was this side.
Okay, what do you think about the repair?
No, it looks nice. It looks brand new. It looks like a factory.
Can you even tell it was ever repaired?
No, you can't tell at all.
I took it over to a buddy's shop of mine too, and he actually didn't even realize this car was actually wrecked from that side.
Really?
Yeah.
No,
The
it looks like everything looks like spotless and clean.
paint job was probably one of the best paint jobs I've done. I mean,
Really?
It's got European clear on it. Probably we did four or five coats of clear on it alone. So yeah. No orange peel, no imperfections. I mean, it's like as perfect as it gets right there.
Exactly.
Well, sweet. I'm going to start getting you, if you need any help, give me a holler, but let's go ahead and get this thing all wrapped up. What do you say?
Yeah, for sure.
Let's do it. Well, Anthony, you took your time on this one, didn't you?
Yeah.
Man, it's looking good. So you got all the windows done. The corner one's done. The door one is done. The back one is done. The front, the other side.
Yep.
Man, take a look outside. It's dark now.
Damn, it's dark already.
What else you got left?
Just the windshield now.
The front windshield, and that's it?
Yep, just the front windshield now.
What do you think? You think it's going to take forever or no?
Nah, I should have it done like in an hour. Probably less.
Dang. I can't wait for that front windshield to get tinted.
Alright guys, so right now I'm about to install the windshield tint, the 70% ceramic windshield tint from High-Tech. To do this process, I've heard that these Lamborghinis, the dash, are very, very sensitive. If you get any water on it, it could inflate. The leather on it could inflate. It could just be all bad for me. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna protect myself. You know, I gotta be protected. I'm gonna use a soak rope. I'm gonna stick it in the edge of the dash. Stick it in there so all the water that runs through is gonna get soaked into this. And then the dash, I'm gonna cover it with my tint towels. Basically, I'm gonna cover the whole dash so no water will get on the dash. I'll try to use very minimal water, very minimal water, to not mess up anything.
Because what ends up happening actually is like the dash will actually absorb it as guys are like spraying water on there.
Exactly.
And then it like cracks or like shrinks back and
and you know we don't want that. We don't want that around here. We want to be protected. We want to be professional and everything. So you know what? We're gonna use a soak rope and 2 dash towels and cover up every leather piece that there is.
Man, so just so you know, you're taking what, like $6,000 for the windshield, $6,000 for the dash.
Oh, nah.
If you don't do it the right way, I mean,
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not either. If I mess it up, me and Sam know what the risks are and everything. So I mean,
oh yeah,
we're not gonna mess up anything. You know,
No.
we're professional. We try to do caution. We try to be cautious in every step we do.
That's right.
Yep.
And you've done plenty of front windshields before, anyways.
I've done so many windshields, but you know, I've never done a Lamborghini windshield. So I mean,
That's right.
so I mean, this is the first. It's a first, you know.
Well, I'm nervous a little bit because it's my first Lamborghini
Exactly,
windshield, but at the same time, I mean, you've done everything and you do quality work, so I don't know anyone else that could do it besides you.
Exactly. So I mean, hopefully everything goes good, which should. I mean, with me being here, everything should go great. So yeah.
We'll find out in the next hour.
Nah, where we find? I don't know.
This is like the perfect amount of tent right here, 70%. And take a look at that. He's getting rid of that silk rope that he had tucked in there. And that right there is what protects everything from the dash from getting cracked or water getting underneath the dash and then peeling back up and everything. But man, and that door is open. So once this door is closed, it's gonna look really nice because of the fact that there's no backlight coming through. And then on top of that, you know, you're still going to be able to see out of this. It's only 70%. So you don't want to go 30%, 20%, especially on a fast car like this, driving through night runs and all that, and you can't see what's in front of you. So helps with visibility, keeps the sun off your dash and everything. And on top of everything, just makes the whole thing look better. So once he gets his dash out, the door closed, you'll see what I'm talking about. It'll look a whole lot darker, but still giving you that perfect visibility so you can actually see while you're driving. Take a look at that. Man, it just transforms the whole look of the car. Front glass tinted, the sides are tinted, ceramic tint all the way around, but 70% up front, and it just looks so good. But at the same time, you're still able to see at night. It ain't dark like 25, 30, or you know, even 15, what some people put on the front. But man, it looks really good. I'm super happy, and the work quality is just excellent. You've been here since 2:30. It's now 7 o'clock.
It's now 7 o'clock, you know. I had to take my time with this car, you know.
Man.
Can't rush it.
It's good work, man. So what'd you think about your first exotic car that you've ever done?
You know, it was pretty good, you know. It's a little tight, I ain't gonna lie. The inside of the car is really tight, you know.
Yeah.
Since I'm a small person, it's not too big of a deal, but I mean, it's still kind of tight.
That's right. I mean, you did phenomenal work, man. So anyone who needs window tint right here.
Yup.
AA plus tent right here.
Yup.
It looks really good. I mean, I'm really happy how it turned out, brother.
Thank you, man. It looks really nice.
man, thank you so much for coming out here.
Yeah, of course.
Always
man.
a pleasure.
Yeah, of course, no problem.
Great work as always, man. I'm super excited. That thing turned out amazing. I mean, it's dark outside.
Yeah, it's nighttime now. I mean, either way, it's kind of dark right now because of daylight savings. So
Yeah.
yeah, but either way,
What'd it take, 4.5 hours or so almost?
around there. So like got here like at 2:30. Started like around 3. It's what? It's 7:50.
Yeah.
So yeah, like around 4 hours. 4 hours.
Dang. Well, once again, the best work right here. AA
Appreciate you,
tent
man.
right here.
Appreciate you, man.
All right, guys, so we got the Lamborghini obviously behind me, and we have some other plans for this car. As you guys can see behind me over here, we actually have John from Tent World, and John over here's job today is he's gonna go ahead and actually make this Lamborghini look way more aggressive, because go ahead and just explain what you got in mind for this Lamborghini.
Hi guys, so my name is John from Tent World here in Charlotte. What we're gonna do is we're gonna throw some satin black 3Ms 2080. We're gonna do this right here. We're gonna black it out, the vent right here on the side skirt, and we're also gonna go ahead and do the front lip right here. Make sure that that gets blacked out so it gives it a more aggressive look. You know, something custom, make it look a little bit spicier for sure.
Sweet. Well, it also will actually help with rock chips in the front, because if you do get a rock chip in the lower section of the bumper, it's easy to rewrap versus disassembling the whole bumper and respraying it. So
100%, man. 100%.
but let's go ahead and see the process. I guess you got to use some knifeless tape first,
Yes,
which
sir.
is what you got there on your hand.
Yes, sir. Knifeless tape right here.
And then you just go around the outline, do the knifeless tape, and then put the wrap on top, or how does that work?
Yeah, absolutely, man. So knifeless tapes, it's gonna make it to where we can land where we want to make a cut without actually putting the knife to the car. So you know that's a big plus when you're working on something like this, and you know it'll keep it very, very straighter than I can cut. So that's definitely what we're looking for.
Sweet. Well, sounds good. We'll see you guys for the process, and I'll let you guys know how this thing turns out. But I think this thing's gonna be a whole new look for this Lamborghini. Take a look at this side, guys. I mean, dang, does that look really good. Just adds that little texture to it. And we went with the satin black. Like I said before, we have satin up here. We have satin on the back bumper. There's a little cover that we're missing there. We're gonna get that. But up here, we're just all green and like nothing on the side. So he even went ahead and got the tint done on the side bumper marker light that we replaced, so it matches the other side. And now he's focusing on the front bumper. And what we're doing on the front bumper over here is actually going to go ahead and put some knifeless tape and black out that center part, and that way it's going to look like two big giant vents. I think it's going to look really aggressive and go with the ground effects kind of scheme that we have going on. Everything turned out really good. Precise cuts, no bubbles, no nibs, nothing like that. Same thing on this side over here. Just perfection at its finest. Dang, take a look at those side skirts. Came out great, both sides. And then the magician himself went ahead and got the front end done for us too. Dang, I'm stepping on everything over here. But take a look at how that looks. I mean, that right there just completes it. What do you think? How was that front end to do?
I think it was great.
Was it a pain?
It was good. Yeah, it wasn't too easy, but it wasn't hard at all, man. And it definitely, you know, makes the car look 100 times better. So,
and that was your idea actually there. So that's props to you right there.
yeah, man.
I honestly like how it looks, because the side skirts, with that being on the bottom, you got the two vents here, but that right there just makes it like one big air duct, or gives it that aggressive look, you know?
Yeah, definitely, man.
Well, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, brother.
So today is finally the day that we're taking the Lamborghini over in for a proper alignment, OEM specifications, and we're going down to Lamborghini of Charlotte to get this thing 100% done.
Backfire, you can feel it.
Well guys, we're back at the shop, and as you guys can see behind me, we've got the Lamborghini back in here. Alignment was a success. Even after we went to my buddy's alignment rack to make sure everything's good as far as the toe goes, because you don't want to blow out a tire or just wear out brand new tires on the way to the alignment rack. It is an hour drive from us. We put it on there, got the toe adjusted, everything after we did that lower control arm as well, and made sure it's good. Went straight to Lamborghini, got the alignment. Most expensive alignment I've ever paid, $500, and I can see exactly why. It's very time consuming. It took them about 4 hours to get it completed, and there's shims and all that stuff that I've already got it into that go into the alignment on a supercar like this. Same with the R8s, like Goon Squad's R8 that they recently did. They had the shims out of there, and that's why the camber was funky. You have different size shims to allow adjustment for camber. But anyways, we got this thing in. We've been ripping it up and down the road. Oh my goodness, it just sounds so good. You can hear it miles away. And I'm just super happy with how this build turned out. Like everything with the car, as you guys can see behind me, the way everything flows, man, it just turned out so nice. The tinted windows, the front tint that we did, that spoiler being forged carbon is just so beautiful. The wheels, the calipers, the colors, I mean, the wrap that we did there, especially on the front end over here that we did the wrap on, man, just looks so killer. I love how everything looks. Really love this car too. This is actually a favorite car of mine as well. And I know if you guys haven't been watching, all the OG fans know about the AMG GT that we had done and rebuilt. This thing was smacked in the front end as well. But guys, if you guys are enjoying how everything is coming out with this Lamborghini, make sure you guys are actually staying tuned and subscribed, because we're gonna have maybe more builds like this depending on what we come through. But, well, I'm not gonna say maybe, we're definitely gonna have cool builds like this, but we might even throw maybe like a cheap budget car rebuild, or I'll show you guys what I actually do as far as buying and flipping cars and how I got this Lamborghini. Make sure you're staying tuned, make sure you're subscribed. If you guys like what you see, make sure you comment down below, let me know, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't been hitting it, because it is free and it helps us out a lot. It doesn't cost you a dime, so make sure you hit the subscribe button. Until then, we'll see you on the next one.